people? It's the College Football Hangover podcast on I Live for Saturdays, the best college football channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at I Live for Saturdays, 4 as in the number 4. Like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us on Vine. And I had to drag out the Big O to do this podcast because he's been very lazy. We all have our things to do, and he had some stuff to do and some responsible adult stuff to do. But here he is. Finally got him out here.
Yo, what up, people? Glad to be back, though.
And I don't mean to sound weird, and I don't want to sound like some weird guy that is going to compare two things that don't even go together, but I think it was like Thursday, or I think it was Friday, where I was watching Boise State versus New Mexico, and I noticed something when I was watching it, and it probably sounds a little weird, but just bear with me. College football, to me, at least to a hardcore fan, is a little bit like Netflix. Like we all got in college football and in Netflix, we all got our watching strategies. Like we all watch in different ways. Like some people will binge watch a show, a whole season of shows that just came out, and they'll just watch the whole thing from beginning to end. Some people like me, I like to dabble with a bunch of different shows. Everyone's got a different watching technique. And college football, I try different types of watching techniques. I know the Big O does. I'm curious to see how other people try to watch college football. I used to love doing the 3-game thing, where I would just shift through 3 games, and I would get some updates, either looking at my phone or looking at the laptop, or just updates from the TV, and that's how I'd get all their information. And this guy scored a touchdown right here, threw it to pass to this guy, and I would just shift with 3 channels. I've seen like the Big O, he loves watching just one game, and he'll just look at stuff at his phone too, but he'll just stay with one game. So I'm always curious to see how different people, you talk to Netflix with other people, and they all got different types of strategies.
Right.
And the other kind of little on the less serious side, you could still college football and chill with your significant other when you're watching college football. At least to a hardcore fan, and especially if your significant other loves watching college football, it's the perfect time. It's a perfect setting. It's just like Netflix and chill. So, yeah, I'm very curious as to how other people watch college football. And if you have your own sort of technique or strategy that you use to watch college football, comment on the link below.
You know what I do sometimes if Miami's playing, but there's also a very good game on. I'll put the Miami game on my phone and then just watch the other game on TV.
See, that is classic Big O, because he watches Netflix strictly on his phone, and he could be driving or doing something, anything, but he's watching Netflix on his phone. And yeah, he always does that.
Yeah, it's gotten kind of weird. Like I can't play video games without watching Netflix on my phone at the same time.
You can't even work. You can't even breathe without watching Netflix, which is crazy. But yeah, just like you, when my favorite team is on Virginia Tech, I only watch Virginia. That is my main game. Like my strategy there is just Virginia Tech, and then commercials. I'll go previous channel or something. I'll go to another game.
Watch a few plays and then go
watch
back.
And go straight right back to it right after the commercials are done. Or halftime, I'll try to watch as much from another game. But yeah, when Virginia Tech is on, my home team, which everyone's, I'm sure they do that as well. When their team is on, that is their game.
Yeah, and I do that too. But I think how many weeks ago was it? I think Miami was playing, and I think it was Clemson and Florida State as well at the same time. And I really didn't want to miss the Florida State-Clemson game, so I just sat on the couch, put the Clemson Florida State game on my phone because I have the Watch ESPN app, which is a great app. You can actually watch some games from Fox on that thing. That thing is awesome. If you don't have that, you should get it. Also, just watch the other game on the TV, and then just channel surf on the TV with college football games.
See, what do you do when your team isn't on in the week? what's actually your strat. My thing is just like I try to get as much games as possible because I'm always like, man, I'm missing so many teams because I saw Virginia Tech for like 5 hours and I only saw Virginia Tech and I missed like 17 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually just try to. I mean, when Miami's not on, I'll do what you.
Like I overdo it.
Yeah, you overdo it. And I hate, and that's one thing that bothers me while watching college football with you is that I feel like you picked the wrong times to change the channel.
Sometimes I'm on point and I get like the best plays in, and then other times I just got back to a game where an amazing play just happened and we're watching the replay. So yeah, I have bad luck. I've been trying to go back to the 3 games only strategy, which worked really well for me in the past. But yeah, in the Florida Gator hashtag, what was it? Gator Gang, hashtag Gator Gang community, the Florida Gators community. Something happened, and they always surprise me. Something happened where I thought it was never possible. College football had its first catfish, or at least popular catfish. The first time we've ever been catfished as a college football community, I guess, on Twitter at least. I never thought it was possible. That thought never even came to my mind.
Does the Manti Te'o thing not count, or is that just because he got catfished?
I guess that does count ish, but as a community, as regular people, we've never been catfished. Like, that is so strange to me. And Clutch like MJ, a Gator fan, who actually I used to have interactions with back in the day. I feel like everyone's had an interaction with that guy, Clutch like MJ. His real name is Neil Cool. The consensus is that he was pretty much a dickhead. Like, he was not a nice guy. And pretty much, I thought he was a Georgia fan, first of all. He always came off to me as a Georgia fan. It wasn't until, I think, like 2 months ago when I realized he was actually a Gator fan. And basically, most people know the story. If you don't know the story, pretty much he was acting like as if he was an insider guy. I think he may have had some insider connections. At first. I think he had 1 or 2 players he knew, or a coach or something. And he was able to prove that, he knew some inside stuff. And as the time went on, for I think like 2 or 3 years it happened, he made his own forum. And he was charging people 10, and then apparently got to 20, then 50, and then at the end got to 100. He pretty much made, I think it was like $50,000 in an article I saw. Made $50,000 with fake insider information.
Wait, what was that, like $100 a month, or what? I don't know.
That's what I think it was like $100 a month. Because he made a ton of money, and the only way you can make that kind of money is it's constant revenue coming through,
right?
Through like payments for every month kind of thing. So I think that's what happened. I don't know the full story, but I think at Trey Black, it was the one who kind of broke it. He was the guy on Twitter that investigated it and then posted a bunch of stuff about it. But yeah, this guy Clutch like MJ, he was faking insider information, and I don't know why. This is my thing. Is college football is, and I guess it kind of equates to us. People that don't have the best education. People that will spend money that is a little ridiculous. Not to say we're dumb or we're not going to school, but we're not. We haven't finished college yet. But we're not very smart as a community. We'll spend like money on like the dumbest things, and insider information. That is like the dumbest thing. Like, what do you gain out of that? What do you gain out of knowing a recruit like spaghetti? Like, I don't understand. Like, to me, I don't know. I don't have a word for it. I think Colin Cowherd does a great job of like labeling some certain people. Like, I don't want to say necessarily 100% losers, but just some people that don't make the best decisions are the most popular people. Like, they're booger eaters. Like, if you're paying for insider information to know that Dante Fowler likes to ride bicycles on Sundays, like, what? Why? How is that like valuable information? Like, that to me, it makes no sense. Even if you could somehow know about what a recruit likes, you're not gonna recruit a guy. Like, Twitter does never done a good job of recruiting. So inside information to me makes no sense.
Well, maybe it's like okay, like maybe it has something to do with just like how impatient people are for information nowadays. Like you were telling me earlier, how like like you're gonna find out the same information that you'll pay for. Like you'll find it out 3 weeks later. But I guess just some people just they don't want to wait. You know.
And that goes back, circle it over to their Netflix thing, where people are so impatient they don't want to wait till the next week for an episode, so they'll just watch Netflix. They'll watch a Netflix series instead. Maybe the world is just changing. It's Netflix, man. Netflix is the core of all evil. It is the core of all evil, man.
It's making us lazier as people.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't understand. I like insider information. I like knowing cool stuff like, oh, this trade is going to happen in a few weeks, or this kid's going to commit to this school. That's cool. That is not worth a freaking dollar.
Yeah, the most I'd ever spend on insider information is probably like 50 cents.
I'll give you a nickel. I'll give you a nickel to know
and
that.
And
I won't pay you 6 cents.
And you see those kind of ads all the time on ESPN.com. And like, I think, what is it, like $20 a month over there? I don't know.
It's something like $10.
Yeah, it's like that. I don't. Like every time I see that, I'm just like, no. Why would I spend my money on something I'm going to find out anyway?
You're paying for information that you're going to know in like 2 or 3 weeks from now. Like, who gives a crap? I don't. Why do sports fans and college football fans pay for stuff like they pay for forums? I remember there's Hokie Haven. I don't know if that's still around, but I had some buddies over the internet with Hokie fans. I'm from Chicago. I'm not from Virginia, so that was the only way I can communicate with Hokie fans, which is great. I love the internet because of that. But everyone was telling me get on Hokie Haven, get on Hokie Haven. I was like, all right, that's cool. Try to sign up for Hokie Haven, $15 a month. Get the hell out of here. I'm not paying $15 a month to talk Virginia Tech football. That's ridiculous. I'll do that for free. I don't give a crap about.
On Twitter.
Yeah, right? I don't need that. Like, I don't need a forum to pay a forum for that crap. Like,
start a conversation with people on Twitter. It's the same thing. It's literally the exact same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Really quickly, let's go into actual some college football stuff. Favorite game, Omar? Favorite game of the week?
I know you're probably going to like this one. Oh, you're probably not going to like this one. But the best game I saw this week, personally, I really, really liked the Virginia Tech North Carolina game. I thought that was a great game. Shout out to Frank Beamer. I know Virginia Tech fans are started to get sick of him at the end. But, you can't take away the 25 years. I mean, like, he did a lot of good things to a lot of really good kids,
2 hot takes from that. 3. 1, Frank Beamer is the reason why I'm a Virginia Tech fan. Without him, I would not be a Virginia Tech fan. He put us on the map. He made us relevant. That's awesome. Thank you for that. But the last 3 years, Frank Beamer has set this program back. There's a time where you have to have a Bowden moment and say, you know what? I'm hurting this program more than I'm helping it. I need to step down. This dude did not want to leave. And he had too much power. He had a Joe Paterno kind of thing. Too much power, and that could have ended up really bad, where people could have abused that kind of power because he had so much power there. And I'm very happy that he's finally leaving. It's a bittersweet moment, more sweet than bitter, though, I'll admit. And that's my only thing about Frank Beamer. I absolutely love him, but I wish he would have left earlier. My last take is we got hosed really bad with that touchdown pass.
I didn't see
at
that.
The end.
I didn't see that too.
But we suck anyway, so stop complaining, Virginia Tech fans. We you don't know next play. We give up a touchdown anyway, right? So we weren't the better team. We got really lucky. We were lucky to be there. But it's whatever. Who cares? This is a 6-6 team at best. Okay.
Great comeback though. Really great comeback.
It was freaking exciting. It was great for Frank Beamer. It was awesome, and I love that we carried him on his shoulders. On our shoulders. The players did. So shout out to all the seniors as well. I think people forgot about that. It was senior day. Shout out to all the seniors, man. I love you. Love y'all. If you put on a Hokie uniform, you'll always be a Hokie. There are no former Hokies. My favorite game, which completely goes against what I love, was Michigan State, Ohio State. Omar, what'd you call it?
I called it a snooze fest, man. I don't know. To me, that game was pretty boring. It was pretty underwhelming.
It was a snooze fest of the North. LSU, Alabama is at the snooze fest of the South. This was a snooze fest of the North. But I did love Mark D'Antoni because I love technical stuff and all this intricacy stuff. I I found it very easy to understand what Mark D'Antoni was trying to do from the beginning. He tried to run the ball, time of possession, get that clock going in the fourth quarter, give yourself a chance to drive and get a field goal or get a touchdown. Give yourself a chance to win at the end. Don't give Ohio State 70 plays. If Ohio State had 70 plays or 100 plays, they would have torched Michigan State. They would have worn down, and instead Michigan State wore them down. So I love the game. If I see another one of those, though, I'll probably go to sleep. I'll go to sleep at halftime. That was a little boring, but I did love, for once, give Michigan State and Ohio State one snooze fest. Can you do that? Is that okay?
Maybe like once a year you see a game like that, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. If I see, I like. No, thing is, I love firepower and all types of passing, but I love defensive struggles. I love running the ball, pounding. I love watching Wisconsin football.
Yeah, like people think I'm crazy because one of my favorite games of all time was that LSU Alabama game in 2011 when they the first one, not the national championship game, because that game was kind of weird. That was just a weird game.
I love that game too, and a lot of people call that a snooze fest. But I thought it was a great defensive battle. But it happens. Whatever, it's fine. The other subject where we wanted to touch on, obviously it's the time of the year where coaches are on the hot seat. We talk about who's going to get fired, who's going to replace these coaches, all that stuff. Some news is broken out today that Les Miles, and today's Monday, by the way, Les Miles is more than likely, and his news has been going out for a while, but today is pretty much confirmed that Les Miles will pretty much be gone out of LSU.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy. I don't get that one. I don't know if LSU can get somebody. I mean, it's going to be really tough to replace Les Miles. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not sure if there's a coach right now who can do it, to be honest. To be perfectly honest.
I see. The thing about firing coaches and replacing coaches and getting a new coach, all that stuff, if you're going to fire a coach, make sure you have a good plan in the next hire that you get. Make sure you have a really good plan, okay? Unless you have like a Frank Beamer, a Lane Kiffin, a Steve Sarkisian sort of situation, have a good plan if your program is already pretty solid. Bo Pelini, how did that work out in Nebraska? Mike Riley is a real genius, right? You guys were so happy to get rid of Bo Pelini. What happened? What's up with Mike Riley? This was a team that consistently got 9, 8, 10 wins in the season. Is Nebraska even going bowling? I think they have a chance to go 5-7.
I think they're going to go 6-6 if I remember correctly.
No, they're playing Iowa this week.
Oh. How many?
I'm pretty sure they're playing Iowa. I could be wrong.
No, they're playing Iowa, but I'm pretty sure they've already won 6 games, no?
I don't believe so, actually. I do not think so.
Well, we'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's confirmed. Yeah, Nebraska probably won't go bowling. They're playing one of the best teams in the country in Iowa. So I don't get why people love firing coaches. They love doing that. People calling for everyone's job. Oh, that guy, get that guy out of here. Imagine if you were a guy, your regular job, you're working at Burger King or whatever, and someone's calling for your job constantly. That's ridiculous. I don't like calling for coach. I never liked it. I understand when it's time to leave. Like, there are times to leave and when you're just really bad. But just be careful, people. Tennessee, they lost Fulmer. And they haven't recovered soon. Yeah, because Butch Jones is amazing, right? Like, they haven't recovered since then. Like, you have to be careful. LSU is a good program. LS Miles is a great recruiter. Where recruiting is like 90% of the battle. Well, you're getting rid of a great coach.
I don't think LSU in the history of like Les Miles at LSU, have they ever been below 500? I don't believe so.
I don't.
Have they even lost 5 games in the season since Les Miles been there?
I don't think so. I've never seen it in my life.
I've never seen it. So I mean, think about that.
You're treading on some really shallow water, LSU, on some really thin ice.
A guy who's already brought you a national title and brought you 2 national titles and brought you to SEC titles and won SEC titles.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I like, there's times to leave.
Like the Al Golden thing. It was Al Golden's time to leave.
It was Al Golden's time. Hey,
it
man,
was his time.
He was recruiting, but he wasn't doing much. That was a good firing.
I didn't like the way like that the fans wanted his head so bad, But I get why they fired.
I didn't like the way it went down. But yeah, I like that he needed to be fired. You know, that was too much. It was, at some point, enough is enough. But you know, Les Miles.
I don't think that point has been reached with Les Miles. Not even close.
No.
Not even close.
It's crazy. It is crazy to me. I don't care about you guys. Some people will come out with statistics and all this stuff, and Les Miles wasn't doing this, and he was this, and he's red. He's a fantastic coach that wins games after games in one of the toughest conferences in America, one of the toughest divisions. Has to play Alabama. Nick Saban, one of the greatest coaches of all time.
And you guys are just and LSU's just not going to beat Alabama every year. You know, there's going to be some times when Les Miles is going to have to lose to Nick Saban. Okay. Yep. And but you guys, LSU is acting. LSU to me is like, I think they forgot that Les Miles has beaten Nick Saban before. You know.
Speaking of people not understanding and comprehending in the SEC, oh, there you go. Look at that. I came full circle right to our next subject. SEC excuses. They will just never stop. I have little faith in SEC fans to be 100% objective. This week, obviously, some embarrassments in the SEC. The Seattle beating South Carolina, Florida getting away with a pass interference call.
Oh, that was an atrocious call. Ref was right in front of him.
So close to losing that game. Florida should not be. There's no excuse. But well, you know what? This is an FCS team that's really. This is a Division I team that is a bad team in their own conference, and it's not a Power 5 conference. 2-8, they're now 2-9 because of the loss, but 2-8 team that you barely beat in overtime, and you are a top 10 team. There is no excuse you SEC fans can come up with, and the thing I'm sick of is that there's a difference between the West and the East. When an ACC team loses and there's an embarrassment, it's the ACC. There's not the ACC Coastal. When a Big Ten loses, it's not the Big Ten West. No, it's the whole Big Ten. Big 12. When that happens, it's the whole Big 12. It's not one team. You know, it's not just Iowa State that lost to North Dakota State. It's the whole conference. You know, Iowa State, one of the worst programs in the conference. It's the whole conference.
Or Kansas losing to a team like that.
But when it comes to the SEC, it's the East. It's the East. The East, that's bad. That's not the conference. That's just the East. Yeah, but then the SEC West wins, and it's, the SEC is great. Or if the SEC West messes up, they blame it on the SEC West. Or they blame it on some schedule. They always got an excuse. No matter what happens, they always have an excuse. Just own up to it and just say, you know what? You guys are the ones who made up these crazy, dumbass rules talking about conferences and all that stuff, and your conference sucks, and no matter what you do, how good you are, you suck because your conference suck kind of thing.
Because you guys made up in the SEC.
Because you're not in the SEC. Now you guys are losing all these types of games and going to overtime against 2-8 teams.
Losing ball games.
Losing major bowl games. You go up in the national stage winning against real titles, against real teams. You guys get destroyed, and you have all the excuses in the freaking world. Just own up to it. Don't say, it's that side. No. It's just these. No, it's the whole conference. If you're making up these rules, the SEC fans made up the rules. This is your game. This is your game, SEC fans. Talking about, your conference all sucks. No. It's the whole conference. The whole conference that has a problem. And now time for rankings of the week. I live for Saturday's rankings of the week. And some changes, man. At number 1, we got Clemson. As you can see, all their stuff. I think that they're pretty much the consensus number 1. They lost a C record game. I think that was Miami. Miami went down in the rankings for whatever reason. But yeah, they went down. So they lost a C ranked game. And one point I want to make out. I don't understand why they keep doing. I always see in the resume is top 25 wins and a record. I like it. That's fine. But you could go a little deeper than that. Than just the top 25 wins. You could do about the top 10 percentile, the top 12. You know, that's the elite teams that you could go to. So I don't understand why they don't do that. Alabama, or the C record. Alabama is at number 2. Very solid, very consistent. They've played 8 teams out of 11 that are in the top 30 percentile in college football. They're fantastic, and their record overall in that is 7-1. So they're fantastic. They're number 2. Notre Dame at 3. And it's kind of funny how we're kind of almost agreeing. I feel like us and the committee are going to come to an agreement. I think all of Twitter is going to come to an agreement at the end of the year. Iowa at number 4, still at number 4. They were jumped by Notre Dame, so there's Iowa. At number 5, Oklahoma. And again, if you want some explanation, just comment about it or tweet about it, and I'll explain it to you why. The numbers are there, and then you can see them. At number 6 is Baylor, and Baylor just jumped everyone with that win over Oklahoma State. If you're surprised by that, I could explain that to you too. But anyway, we'll move on. Florida at number 7. Florida actually moved up. I don't know how they did it, but they actually moved up. I guess with some losses to Ohio State, which is still in my top 10. But Michigan State is at number 8. And Oklahoma State drops from our number 2 all the way down to number 9. That loss to Baylor really hurts. They have some nice wins, but their margin of victory isn't fantastic. Their strength of schedule isn't fantastic. Opponent's record isn't fantastic. But they have a chance to move up. Ohio State at number 10. They fell hard, and pretty much their chances into the playoff is pretty much over. I mean, that Michigan State loss was detrimental, man. It's Michigan State and Iowa in the Big Ten Championship, most likely. So
The worst possible team they could have lost to be honest.
Yeah.
The worst possible team they could have lost to. They're out of the conference championship. They're out of the playoff.
If they would have lost like Indiana or something, they could still be in
Bounce
it.
back.
Because that's just the committee will do that. They're that doesn't matter. But, now they won't even win their division.
Yeah.
That they have no argument, man. They just have no argument. Navy is at our 11, and Houston is also there. This is just to compare their record. But, I think Navy is a great football team. They're fantastic. Their option game is phenomenal. And this week, they'll be going head-to-head against Houston. So, pretty much both these teams still... Houston's actually not ranked at all. I actually did that purposely. I don't think Houston should be there. But these two teams will be going head-to-head this week, and they control their own destiny still. So, Houston, they never really had a great shot to the national championship game, which is fine. So, the fans, you guys shouldn't be discouraged or sad about the loss that much. I get you lost your undefeated season, but you guys still have a chance at the bowl game we were going to get into anyway, to one of the non-Power 5, non-Power 5 auto bid.
Yeah, and that's always a really good thing to have when you're a little school like that. It helps so much, and with money and trying to get new things and things like that. So I mean that, yeah. So Houston still has a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and actually, I don't want to sound biased or anything, but I kind of want Navy. I've never seen Navy or any of the armed forces or the military programs do well, or I mean in a BCS game. So
not in our lifetime anyway.
No, I've never seen it. So I really would love to see Navy in a BCS or a Power 5 New Year's Eve.
Yeah, because Navy's always been pretty decent, but I don't think they've been this good in a while.
Yeah. So shout out to Navy, man. Y'all doing great. So yeah. Anything else, Omar?
No. That's it.
All right. Make sure to subscribe, share this video. Make sure you are college football and chilling with your significant other. Omar, sign off.
Peace.
Peace.